Welcome back. Will Brown here as we take a look at the first chapter of No Longer Male and Female. And I want to start by asking you to look back at your own life and how things may have changed since you were a child. Clothing has changed, hairstyles, fashion. Has technology changed the way that we get the news, how we communicate with other people? Lots of things change. And in today's discussion, in particular, we're going to think about how the unspoken rules of gender have changed. For instance, were there certain jobs that were for men and certain jobs that were for women? Were there certain hairstyles that were appropriate for men, certain hairstyles that women wore? And then, have you noticed any ways that those rules may have changed from when you were a child to now? If someone were to travel in time from your childhood to today, what would surprise them? My point is that there are many rules and expectations around us about what men and women should do, how they should look, how they should act. And many of these have become so automatic to us that we don't even think about them until someone breaks those rules. And yet, when we look across time, we see that those rules change. Even over a course of a lifetime, they change. And certainly over the course of many centuries. In this first chapter of the book, we're thinking about what the Bible says about gender and how that may be different from what we see around us today. Because here's the thing. The contemporary ways that we describe gender, the new terminology like gender identity, transgender, non-binary, these aren't in the Bible. And it sure would be simpler if they were, if the Bible spelled out exactly what we're supposed to think, but it doesn't. I think of it this way, with two non-Bible verses, we might say. So verse 1, there are exactly two genders, male and female, determined by your anatomy at birth. Not in the Bible. Transgender and non-binary people are created that way, intentionally, as how God has designed them, and they should be embraced. Also not in the Bible. The Bible just doesn't work that way. And I'm always wary of anyone who gives a simplistic answer to complex questions. The Bible is much more rich and fascinating. And it's in that richness that it speaks to us, not a simplistic rule book that says exactly what to think about everything that we face today. We still have work to do. That's why I chose as the subtitle for this book, A Biblical Guide to Our Questions About Gender, rather than a list of biblical answers to our questions about gender. Because it isn't just a list of answers, but the Bible is our guide. And we learn from reading the Bible while we think about what's happening in the world around us. In this first chapter, I'm inviting you to think about when it's okay to understand the world differently than people did in the past. For gender, but also for all sorts of things. How do we incorporate new information about the world while remaining faithful to the eternal truths of our faith? I wish you a good conversation, and I look forward to next time.